Hi and welcome to Heal Yourself Therapies. This is a short video that is going out because I feel that I need to share something with you, and I think it may help you as well. What I'm very aware of is that right now, obviously things are better than they have been in terms of isolation, lockdown, and you know, the terrible news that was occurring. But they're still not great, are they? And it's very easy for us to get tied up in the day-to-day, in the details, in the gory details, if you want to call them that. And that can bring us down. Okay, I think lots and lots of people, according to what I'm seeing, lots and lots of people are starting to find it's difficult to cope with these high levels of stress and anxiety. Okay, and that's understandable. But what I want to share with you is what I've been doing. Some things that have come to me kind of as moments of, yeah, that's true. And I'm going to share these with you. Obviously, what I'm going to assume is that you have some belief. Okay, and if you don't have any belief, then maybe you could take it on board, you know, the idea that I'm talking about without having linked to any belief. But this is my belief. And this is something that it resonates very much with me, but it doesn't necessarily have to resonate with you. But I believe that I have chosen to be here right at this time. That's my belief. Okay? My belief is that I decided that I wanted to live through this time. And what I mean by that, I mean, that's just my belief about coming to this earth in this body and living this life. And I believe that we have a choice to make beforehand. Why do I believe that? I only believe that because it's a nice belief to have, and because of the multiple past life regressions that I've done, and in between life regressions that I've done. And what I've seen is a very, very similar story every time. Whenever I take somebody to the place in between lives, that's just after the end of one particular life and before the start of another. This is in the reincarnation theme. Whenever I've done that and I take the person to the in-between, when I ask them what they're doing, very, very often, more times than not, they say, I'm in the place where we are preparing to go down to a new life. And I have this over and over again. People saying, I'm in a place and we're all making plans in a group, not alone. A group of souls, if you want to call them that, making a plan to come down and live a particular life together. Okay? So that's one of the reasons why I believe that. Does it mean that it's true? Not at all. I don't really want to get into whether something's true or not. Who knows? Nobody knows. But what I think is important is that it resonates with you. That you think, yeah, okay. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then you may have another belief that really does resonate with you. So I believe that I'm here because I made a choice to be here, knowing full well what I was going to live through. And so because that's what I believe, then what that does for me is it gives me ownership of my life. It stops me from feeling like a victim and makes me feel like a victor. Okay, so from victim to victor. Now, in the scheme of things, actually being a victim is the worst place that you could possibly be in terms of your life happiness, but in terms of what you're able to achieve and do in life. When you move from victim, like, look what they're doing to me, yeah, poor me, to victor, look what I've done, great me, suddenly everything changes. It's like taking up a lens, a darkened lens, and you lift it up and suddenly everything's bright. Why is that? Because when you know that you made a decision to be here, when you know, and it doesn't just apply to being here, when you know that you have full responsibility for how your life is now, and truly that is the truth. We are the manifestation of our life. How we think, how we are, how we do, what we do, how we believe is a manifestation of the life that we are now. And so when you know that, it helps you tremendously, because you see, when you're a victim and they do unto you, then you can't change anything, can you? Well, what can we do? Look what they're doing to us. There's nothing that we can do. Okay? But when you become a victor and you say, what I'm experiencing in my life is what I have made, that puts you in a position of power. Because if you've made it and you don't like it, you can unmake it, can't you? Yeah? If you've made it and you like it, you give yourself a pat on the back and say, well done. That was me. How many times have we rejected a compliment when somebody says to us, that's well done, and you go, yeah, it was just luck, wasn't it? I don't know how I did that. I don't normally do that. Normally mess it up. We find it very difficult to accept that we might have done something well because we were good. If we've chosen to be here, and if we've chosen to live through this period of time, then what we should be doing is enjoying it. Now, I'm not talking about the loss of life or anything like that. What I'm talking about is we are living in a film now. This is a film. It's better than any film that we'll ever see on Netflix. We are living through a drama. We are living through a real life film. And so what we should be doing now is getting out our popcorn, getting out our big fizzy drink with a straw in, and sitting and watching the film play out. Because it's playing out. It's playing out like a film. Okay? And this is something I've been thinking about. Look, I chose to be here. I wanted to see this. I wanted to live through this. So if I wanted to live through this, this is something important to live through. This is something very important, something I have to be part of. And so I should enjoy it. Okay? Now that seems like a kind of a contradiction of terms. What, enjoy a crisis? You think back to any crisis that you've had before, anything that's happened in your life where it's been really tough. And when you think back to it, very often you learn from it, you're able to make new decisions, you're able to think more clearly after it. Sometimes it changes your life so radically for the better. Okay? So these heavy, very high intense experiences often are catalysts for change. They're things that help us to change our life forever. So, yes, there's stuff happening, but remember that this is your choice, that you're here, and that you can become a passionate observer of what's happening. Yeah? Look, seek out information, look for information, look to make sure that you are getting a broad opinion. Let me give you an example. Imagine a workman comes to do a job. He's going to build a house, okay? And in his bag, in his tool bag, he's got one hammer. And he gets his one hammer out and he just hits everything with this one hammer. What happens? Not much. You get a very, very poor looking house. And that's because he's only using one tool. He's using the same thing. And this is applied to therapy. You know, if you've only got one hammer in your therapy toolbox, how are you going to help people if all you can do is just hit them over the head with one hammer? Well, the same applies with information. Okay? If you only have one stream of information, then you will only have one perception, and you will only have one way of thinking about things. Now, what I mean by that is, if you only watch TV and you only watch the ones that tell you what you want to hear, then you're only going to have their opinion. You won't have your own opinion. And what is our own opinion? Our own opinion is listening to very wide opinions and then choosing the one that resonates with us. Okay? But if you haven't heard every opinion, you cannot make an informed choice. What you do is you make a Hobson's choice, which is, this is the way to think about it, and that's the only way to think about it. And what I'm asking you to do is to consider listening to other opinions about what's going on. Because there are a multitude of opinions, very diverse opinions about what is going on. And my suggestion to you is that you begin to not believe other opinions, but to open your eyes to them. Because then you can make an informed choice. Because if you've only got one hammer, the choice is the hammer. But if you've got a hammer and a screwdriver and a saw, and then you can choose which way to approach this situation. And my perception of this situation is that there's a lot more to this situation than we are being told there is. That's what I would say. There's a lot more to it than we are being told. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And there's a lot more to it than is coming through what I would call mainstream media. Remember, mainstream media is not there for you. Right? Mainstream media is not a tool for you. You are consumers. Mainstream media is there as a business. Mainstream media is a business, and it is owned by extremely large corporations that have very different agendas to the agenda that you might have for your family and what you want for your family. Okay? So remember that what comes through the TV is not designed as a request from you. What comes through the TV is designed as a request, as an agenda from the companies that own the news. Okay? News is owned. News isn't created, it's owned. So please start to open your mind a little bit to the fact that there may be more to this than what you actually know. And also remember that this is just a movie that we're watching. Get your popcorn out, sit down and watch how it plays out. Okay? And at the same time, take care of your own self, take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health. Take care of your spiritual health. All of those things will make you strong. And the stronger you are, the longer you're going to live. Okay, so I'll leave that with you. Take care.